What's going on, guys? Andrew Pillick Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be looking at Auston Matthews and William Nylander and their contract situation, and I want you guys to get involved. I want you to leave predictions down below, but we're going to look at whether or not one or the other is stopping each other from getting this contract done, or if that's just something that's out there in the media, and the possibility of a trade for either one of those guys. And I know that seems ridiculous, but it's very possible. So if you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Trying to make this my full-time gig. I love making content. I love talking hockey and sports, especially with you guys. I really do appreciate the support, but it only takes a couple seconds to like and subscribe. It like actually really helps, so I'd greatly appreciate that. There's lots of content on the way. I'm going to be doing player previews for every single player before the season starts. If you're excited about that, like and subscribe. If you want to see more stuff, leave your suggestions down below. I'm trying to plan a live stream for next week, so be on the lookout for that. We're going to talk Leafs. Maybe I'll pull some of you guys into the stream, but we're going to have some fun here on this channel. But in a little bit of sad news, and you know, it's unfortunate. I didn't get a chance to speak on this in my last video, but now there's been another death in the Maple Leaf family. Two of them, Bobby Baun, former Stanley Cup champion, legend of the Maple Leafs, and Rodion Amirov, man, he's super young kid, never got a chance to play for the Maple Leafs, and he had a tough battle, and both these guys passed away, and I just want to say, I'm sorry, and I'm praying for the families of both Bobby Baun and Rodion Amirov. Just two, one being a legend, and one, a kid that, like I said, never got the opportunity to put on that Maple Leaf uniform on the ice and play with the team. But we do know that he was a fantastic human being. He was a fighter. The kid wanted to get through it and play for the team. Unfortunately, it's just tough, man. Like, kids don't deserve that. He was super young. I believe he's like only 21 years old. It's criminal for a kid like that to be gone already, with so much potential. And again, same with Bobby Baun, just lived a great life, but it's always unfortunate to lose someone. And like I said, again, rest in peace to both Bobby Baun and Rodion Amirov. I just wanted to at least get that in the beginning of the video. And I know this might not mean much to anyone, but I'll dedicate this year of my videos and the hard work to try to match the work that these guys put in every single day for Maple Leaf fans. And if I could even be half as driven and hardworking as them, then that'll be successful. So let's get into this video. Let's dedicate this one to those two guys, and let's talk some Maple Leafs. So again, like I said, Auston Matthews and William Nylander, two of the best players on the Maple Leafs, and these are two of the core four, and two guys that are fantastic talents. They're both great players, great people. I've met both of them, and I want these guys to get paid, but at the same time, we have to look at the whole situation. There's a bunch of different things we can get into, and that's why on this channel we've made videos about it before, and we're probably continuing to do that. But starting off with Auston Matthews, of course, basically the franchise player. His current cap hit is $11.6 million. And again, I will remind you guys that both Matthews and Nylander have a deal for this season, so there's no sitting out or waiting anything. These guys have a deal for this year, and they'll be free agents next season. So he's 25 years old. At the end of this contract, got the no-move clause. He's going nowhere. He's not being traded. Last year, he had 85 points in 74 games, and then in the playoffs, he was a point-per-game player. And, of course, before that, 60 goals and 40 goals, 40 goals, 37, 34, 40 goals. Like, this guy just lights the lamp. We all know how good Auston Matthews is, and he's about to get paid. He's going to get a huge deal. And then if we go over to William Nylander, currently just under $7 million. He's got that modified no-trade clause right now. Again, the last year of his deal, and he outperformed Matthews last year with 87 points in 82 games. First 40-goal season for him. Last year he had 80 points. The season before that in shortened season, 42 points in 51 games. And you can see his numbers. Last year, almost a point per game in the playoffs with 10 in 11. And again, he's also a younger guy. I believe he's 26. No, he's 27 now. I forgot. Him and I are the same age. Now, we'll get to that cap friendly in a little bit, but There's been a million different things being talked about when it comes to the Matthews and Nylander contract situation. But from everything we're hearing, the rumors that have been going around is that Austin Matthews has his deal signed, that this deal is pretty much done, and that he's going to be playing for the Maple Leafs. Rumor has it that the Maple Leafs and Matthews have pretty much already agreed on what's going to be happening, how many years, how much money it's going to be, and he just hasn't signed. And that's one of the narratives that's being spun, because the flip side of that is that William Nylander and his team have no idea what they're going to do, because they're asking for a ton of money. The Maple Leafs are asking for him to take less money. They're asking for him to take in the $8 to $8.5 million range. And it looks like Nylander's camp is in the $9.5 to $10 million range. That's a sizable gap. And from all reports, we're hearing that the Maple Leafs might have bumped up their offer a little bit, but not enough to get to $10 million. And if I were the Maple Leafs, I would be looking to sign Nylander in the $9 million range. But we have to be honest with ourselves. If William Nylander goes to the open market, especially with the cap rising next year, he will get $10+ million in the open market. And people might think I'm nuts. I'm not. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. If Nylander or any of these guys that are putting up 40 goals and 85+ points, they're getting $10+ million in the open market, whether you like it or not. And for a guy that wants to play for the Maple Leafs like William Nylander, I would hope that he would sign in the $8.8 to $9 million range, but it's looking like that his team are looking for more money than that, and we don't know if that's going to turn into a trade request or a trade in general, because it seems like Willie doesn't want to go. Now, one thing I want to discuss here is how these two contracts potentially could be linked to each other. And I'm not saying any of these things are true. These are my opinion, and I want you guys to put yours down below as well. But there's a couple things that could be connected to each other here. First of all, one of the rumors that has been going around is that Austin Matthews and his team have this contract kind of locked up, but they haven't officially signed the deal because the Maple Leafs want Nylander's done first. So that way, when they see how much Matthews is getting paid, that Nylander's camp doesn't bump up their request for how much money they want, because the gap between the two players will be sizable in terms of money, because the rumored amount of dollars that Austin Matthews is going to sign for is in the $13 to $13.5 million range. Well, if the Maple Leafs are asking Nylander to take $8.5, that's a pretty sizable gap between the two players. And considering Nylander camp is going to say, well, look, he had 40 goals last year and outscored that guy. We want 10, we want 11, which again isn't going to happen. But that's just how it works. You have to start high and move down, but they're not going to move down to the $8 million range if Austin Matthews is getting $13.5 million. So what the Leafs are hoping to do is get Nylander locked up in the $8.5 to $9 million range, and then just announce Matthews soon after to be like, oh, look, we got both deals done. Everything's fine now. They're going to have a contract going into next year. But it seems as though Nylander's camp is waiting for Matthews' deal to be done first. They're truly waiting for each other. It's a waiting game. I don't think it has to do with anything with the players themselves. It's the agents and the team. I think that that's something that's going on. And if Austin Matthews and his team are just waiting around for a long time, I wonder how quickly they get frustrated with the process and go, well, if I put up bigger numbers again this year, I'm asking for more money because I'll walk right into free agency. And that is the absolute last thing that the Maple Leafs need, is for Nylander's camp to be pissed off, Matthews' camp to be pissed off, and now maybe both of them don't even want to stick around. Now, Leaf fans are going to go, cool, get rid of them. We'll just, trade them or whatever. You're probably not winning either one of those trades if those guys are pissed off and making it known that they want to leave. The Leafs are already backed into a corner there. Sure, they'll get an impressive haul for either one of those guys, but it's the fact of the matter that they're going to be fighting at a disadvantage for sure. So this is a really, really tough situation, and I don't envy Brad Treliving because this is really tough. The other thing that I wanted to show to you guys, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't understand. Next year, the salary cap will be more than 83.5. I'm thinking it's going to go to 85.5, maybe a little bit higher. So let's say Matthews signed at 13.5 and William Nylander signed at 9. The Leafs would probably have $23 million in cap space, and you're going to fill in a couple of these roles with, you know, cheaper, younger guys, but you'll also have the opportunity to redo, you know, potentially goaltending, potentially defense, maybe grab another big name forward. Maybe you just re-sign Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi. You'll still have money to spend. Let's say you get two $5 million forwards. Well, you still have 20 plus million, 10 plus million to go and address your blue line, right? So, and your goaltending. The Leafs will have options. And that's why, you know, I think a lot of people need to look to the future too when you see these contracts, because the salary cap is supposed to raise by $6+ million in the next few years. And that's pretty much a guarantee. So the Maple Leafs are also going to have Tavares' $11 million off the books in a couple of years. If the Leafs can get these long-term deals locked in, their window of opportunity is going to open up with more money coming in and players being off the books. Like TJ Brody's $5 million will be off the books. Maybe he signs, you know, a super cheap deal to stay with Toronto if he's not traded. There's a bunch of different things that we can go into, and that's almost a video in itself that I can make for you guys. But there's a lot of different narratives and a lot of different stories here. There's a lot of different pathways to how things are going to move, but it almost seems like a game of chicken between the agent and the team, and then the two agents against each other, like who's going to sign first, because my player is going to want more money. So this is where I need you guys to comment down below. First of all, predict who will sign first, predict how much money each of them are going to get, and predict if one of them or both is going to get traded or walk into free agency. You let me know what the Leafs are going to do, because this is still a tough situation, and I don't know if it's going to get any easier as time goes on. It should have been done by now. It honestly should have been done. The William Nylander situation is obviously a lot tougher because he might just be traded. But Austin Matthews, man, it was all signs were pointing that this deal was pretty much already done. So, and he hasn't signed. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Like I said, like, subscribe, join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. This is an interactive chance for you guys to comment down below. Maybe I can bring it up in another video and we can show what your answers were. So I love you guys. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.